Hello everybody, this is Charlotte, a member of Potter's Church at our Longton congregation. I hope that this finds you well. I have the honour that Alison has asked me to say a few words of encouragement and support this week, which is Mental Health Awareness Week. And when I was wondering what I might talk about, I was mindful that on my last short video I talked about stress and anxiety, because at the time I thought that was the shared experience of most of us at the start of the coronavirus pandemic. And I was thinking, well, how has that moved on? What's the shared experience now, 9 weeks into this lockdown situation? And I think that it may have changed a little, although of course stress and anxiety will still be present for many of us, particularly, when we think about health and our loved ones and finances maybe. But I think that perhaps for many of us, feeling fed up, feeling low, grumpy, and perhaps isolated and lonely may be something that resonates at this time. And so I wanted to talk about that. And I guess the things that would perhaps contribute to that sense of feeling low and fed up really, are being out of our usual routines, being away from our friends and family members or our colleagues, or just the people that we're used to having around us in our lives that we perhaps rely on at times. Some unhealthy habits starting to creep in, obviously being unable to get out as we normally would, perhaps sleeping and eating habits become altered from how they would normally be. And also feelings of being bored or lacking in some purpose. I think that can impact on our identity, particularly if we're not able to go to work, if it's a job that we associate ourselves with or are very happy in or have given a lot of time to. And I think that these things together can cause us to maybe question our self-worth to some degree, and I think that loneliness is a big part of that, and it's really important to remember that loneliness is not the same as living alone. People can live alone but actually be very content and feel that they're able to maintain and manage the social contacts and the relationships that they would normally have to a good degree. Equally, some people may live in a big busy household but feel quite lonely because they might feel misunderstood or uncared for. And so and also bereavement, of course. Bereavement, loss or illness may be huge contributing factors to feeling lonely and down. And so I wanted to perhaps offer a few tips, and I have obviously consulted the NHS website for this, on how we might start to tackle that. One of the things that it says right at the top of the NHS website is for us to manage our stress levels. Of course, we're aware that the hormone, the chemical in our brains and bodies that gets released when we're stressed is cortisol, and loneliness has a tendency to increase the amount of cortisol that we're trying to deal with in our bodies. And I think that getting back to some kind of routine, it won't be the same routine, but putting in place some kind of routine and purpose to our day, maybe that's exercise, it may be a cleaning regime, it might just be getting up, getting dressed and getting ready for the day as opposed to sitting in pyjamas, can really help. And equally, thinking about positive things, thinking about things that we know we would enjoy or are good for us. Philippians 4 verse 8 tells us that whatever is good, whatever is worthy, whatever is honourable and beautiful, to think and be mindful about those things. which is great advice. The other thing is doing more of the things we enjoy, and perhaps taking some time to prioritise some self-care as well, having a lovely bath, getting out for a walk, cooking good food for ourselves, doing things that reinforces our sense of self-worth and that we know is just nice for us. The other thing is trying to boost our self-esteem, and I'm very mindful of so many verses in the Bible that tell us how important and how precious we are to God, and what our worth is to God. And also taking responsibility for each other's mental health at this time. You know, I was thinking that if each one of us took the time this week to make contact with a person who we perhaps wouldn't usually, who we haven't been in regular contact with throughout the pandemic, that's one less person that has experienced loneliness this week. And maybe if we each contacted 2 or 3 people, we could really make a difference to the experience of people in lockdown, because of course actually having people reach out to us really challenges our feelings that we're not worthy, or really flies in the face of low self-esteem, that no one's going to bother with us. And I guess that could be a challenge for all of us this week, of how we can support each other's mental health at this time. I wanted to end with a Bible verse that I feel is very encouraging, and helps us to maybe start to tackle our feelings of being low and having so much problems around us. And it's 2 Corinthians 4 verses 8-9. It says, "We are pressed on every side by troubles, but we are not broken. We are perplexed because we don't know why things happen as they do, but we don't quit. We get knocked down, but we get up and we keep on going." And I think that my message of encouragement this week would be, we've been knocked down by this virus. Many of us have been knocked by feeling lonely, by feeling isolated, by feeling that our mental health has taken a dip. We might feel low, fed up, down, but we're not beaten. The Bible offers so much support and encouragement to really tell us and to reinforce you are worthy, you are loved, you are precious. And so my challenge this week is, how can we reinforce that message to each other by just reaching out and making contact to let people know that they are loved, they are worthy, they are cared for. I hope that's been useful, and I hope that you continue to be well until we gather together as church. Thank you. Bye.